Hello, welcome to the Musician's Corner, brought to you by the South Pasadena Music Center and Conservatory. Today we're going to learn about chords and how to interpret chord charts that you'll see in guitar books and on the internet. If you can interpret those charts, you can teach yourself a lot of chords. There are thousands of chords, and if you know how to read those charts, that whole world opens up to you. Okay, so what we're going to talk about here is how to read those charts, how to put your fingers down, and how to strum. Now, today, the basic strum that we're going to use is a simple downstroke. Nice, firm, solid stroke. You don't want to hear any one string louder than any other string. Nice, even approach. So that's the right hand, really, at this point. Nothing more to think about there. The left hand, this in the beginning is going to involve a lot of your attention because it's about not only putting your fingers down into certain chord shapes, but then you're going to have to pick them up and move them to put them on other chord shapes when you're actually playing songs. So let's talk about that. Now the first chord we're going to go over today in this lesson is the G chord. And I'm going to tell you how to play the G chord, just you and me verbally here. And then we're going to go over how to read a couple of chord charts, which we'll put on the bottom of the screen in a second. Okay. Index is your first finger. Middle is your second finger. Ring finger is your third finger. And the pinky is the fourth finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy to remember. And of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret. So to make a G chord, your first finger goes on the second fret of the A string, like that. Your third finger goes on the third fret of the low E string, like that. And then your third finger goes all the way down here, also on the third fret, but of the high E string. Then we strum down, and we get a nice, solid G chord. Okay, let's go over that again. But this time we're going to use a couple of charts on the bottom of our screen. And like I said, these are the charts that you'll most commonly see in books and other sort of resource material as you progress as a guitar player. And the way to read the chart is first you have to understand that these charts are really representations of the fretboard of the guitar, this area right here of the guitar. And the chart is laid out so that the E string, the low E string, is on your far left all the way down to the high E string on your far right. And the parallel lines across, those are your fret wires. Okay. Now, the chart here on your right is going to show a chart that just has dots on our fretboard. And you'll see a dot here on the second fret of the A string, a dot on the third fret of the E string, and a dot on the third fret of the high E string. It's the shape of the G chord. And if you look above the top line on the chart, which is representing the nut of the guitar, you'll see some numbers. You'll see a number 2 on the low E string. That means you use your second finger on that fret. You'll see a number 1 on the A string. That means you use your first finger on that fret. Then you'll see a bunch of zeros, because that means no fingers. If it's a 0, it means no fingers, and you strum that string. We'll get into that later. Sometimes you'll see an X up there. That means you don't strum that string. But right now, we're just going to have them all sound. And then all the way to the far right side is the high E string, and you'll see the number 3 written up there. And that means your third finger goes on the third fret to make the G chord. Now we're going to put a D chord diagram, 2 versions, on the bottom of the screen. And I invite you to freeze the video right now and try to teach yourself that D chord, or find a guitar book and look at the D chord. And we'll go over the D chord in our next lesson, but let's see if you guys can work on it on your own, and we'll see you in lesson 4.